This is verse 42 of the 5th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus laying down various illustrations of a fundamental principle of Christian character, which is one, of course, of giving. Not being self-centered, but finding ways to serve others, and this takes a variety of forms. Someone slaps you on the cheek, you turn the other one. If someone compels you to go a mile, you go with him 2. If he sues you to take away your shirt, you give away your coat also, that sort of thing. None of these are supposed to be taken as some kind of wooden, literal, rigid rule, but rather they're describing a spirit of being much more concerned about the interests of the person who may be at odds with me than I am of my own interests. It's another illustration of it is what we have right here in verse 42, beginning with the article to. This is the dative singular masculine, but the actual beginning of the sentence is here with dos from didomi. Give, this is the imperative, so it's second person singular aorist active imperative, give. And then we come back to, so this is the indirect object. He's not saying exactly what to give here, which would be the direct object, but impliedly giving whatever they ask is the idea. So give to thee, and then aitunta from aitao, it means to ask, asking you something, so give to the asking of you one, whatever they're asking. And again, of course, the principle is here. I think it's probably pretty obvious that he's not necessarily saying give whatever they ask, but give to the one that asks is the idea. And so give to the one that asks of you, kai, the connective. Then we have here the other imperative is here apostrophes from apostrepho. So strepho means to turn. Apostrepho means to turn away. You'll notice this is in the passive, however. It's the second person singular aorist passive. Subjunctive, the may with the subjunctive amounts to a negative prohibition. So do not be turned away would be the idea. And then it takes the tone here, so this is the direct object of this, but of course in the passive it gives rise to the idea of don't turn away from, don't be turned away from would be the idea. The direct object tone, the article thelonta from thelo, I wish or I ask. This is the aorist participle. The asking, and then apo from you. Apo takes the genitive. And then donisthai, to borrow. This is from danedzo, to borrow. It especially has to do with borrowing at interest, that idea, kind of standard loans, you might say. What Jesus is saying here is do not be turned away from the asking from you to borrow one. So somebody asks something of you, you should find a way to give. If someone wants to borrow from you, you should be looking for a way to lend. And of course, he's going to add to that without having any necessarily strong expectation of repayment. There is a giving spirit in the life of faith, and that's what Jesus is driving home here with these rather remarkable examples, one after another, trying to get over to us the fundamental notion of what it is to be a Christian.